So this is going to be a quick update on the latest tutorial from the request validation because I made a mistake that will probably, you probably won't notice when debugging or when developing locally on your machine, but when you deploy your server, it will actually fail. And exactly what I'm talking about here is the add fruit endpoint right here. Here we did the validate add new fruit multipart function, which basically it took our multipart here, it validated it, and if the validation fails, this will throw an exception, so the rest of the code will not work. Now there's like nothing wrong with like throwing the exception or anything, but the problem is that if the validation succeeds and we continue on with the rest of the code, and we reach this point, for example, and we try to consume like the data from the multipart, it will fail and it will not be able to consume that data because it already consumed that multipart inside this function. So when it tries to consume it again, it will throw an error because it's not allowed by default. Like Ktor is not allowed to consume the multipart more than once. So to fix this, you can enable Ktor to consume the multipart more than once. I haven't tried that, but there's a page in the documentation that actually shows you how to enable a plugin for that. But the fix that I'm going to apply here is a little bit different. So basically, I'm just going to go to this function, to our validation function, and instead of just validating and throwing an exception, I will make this function actually return a fruit if the request was successful. So just make this return a fruit like that, and let's go to the very bottom here, and if everything goes if everything succeeds, we don't throw an exception, we want to return a fruit. So let's return fruit like that. Very good auto completion here. We are going to need the image URL. This should be let me just check that out. Now for the image URL, we don't have a URL here inside this function because we don't save the file here. So we can go back to the actual logic where we do save the file, which is exactly here. We can do that logic there. Actually, we don't need to check the name. Let's do this. And we can get content type. Okay, so if the content type is correct, we are going to try to save the image and image URL. So let's add a variable for image URL right here. And then when we return the fruit, we can say image URL equals image URL, and then we're just going to assign unknown to added by right now, but we're going to change that. We're going to change that later before we save it to the database. Let me go back to the route, and here in the when we call the validate add new fruit multipart, we can say, well, fruit is validate new multipart, and as you can see, this is of type fruit, which is what we want. Now, because we have the fruit here, we don't need most of the stuff that we used to need here, so we can get rid of that, get rid of all of these, and we can say new fruit is fruit, copy, and then replace the added by with the name of the user that we have actually got from the GWT principal. And just like that, we fixed that issue. Of course, this is the minimalist steps that you need to do to actually fix it. But yeah, you got the idea. I hope that was clear, and I'll see you guys in the next video.